Yes, so let's begin the bond of love. This story will show us that in our modern times how the values of relationship is deteriorated. We have now deteriorated the value of relationship. We are no longer human. Our inhuman attitude is revealed from this story, along with the revealing of the human attitude. Both have been revealed. So, both the sides, the two sides, are revealed simultaneously in this story. Let's begin. Let's see what the story is about. Here we'll come to know that how a bear got involved in a family and became a family member. He remained as a family member. Let's see how. I will begin with Bruno, my wife's pet sloth bear. I got him for her by accident. Now, the narrator says that the story begins with his wife's pet. And what is pet? Bruno, the bear. Normally, we keep pet as dog, cat, birds. Here it is bear. Okay. How many of you have thought of keeping bear as a pet? None, right? Okay. So 2 years ago, we were passing through the sugarcane field near Mysore. People were driving away the wild pigs from the field by shooting at them. Some were shot and some escaped. We thought that everything was over when suddenly a black sloth bear came out panting in the white sun. So it is a story 2 years back. So 2 years ago, when the narrator was passing through some sugarcane fields near Mysore, he had seen people were driving away. That means they were uh, chasing away the wild pigs. I hope you have seen wild pigs. Okay. Maybe we have not seen face to face. Have you seen wild pigs face to face? No. Have you seen Mowgli? There you will find very interesting wild pig, isn't it? Very humorous character. Okay. So wild pig. So those wild pigs were being chased away. Now, how were they chasing? By shooting at them. One example of inhuman, right? This is an inhuman activity. Shooting, is it right? To shoot at, they could simply chase them rather than by shooting, but they were shooting. Okay. And some were shot. That means some were shot means they were dead, and some escaped. When it seemed that everything was over, when it seemed that all is over, just then they found that a black sloth bear, the type of bear that we see in India, they are regarded as sloth bear. Okay. So the black sloth bear was panting in the sun. Panting means? No. Panting means hapna. Okay. So in the sun, when you run, what happens to you? Same thing. Okay, same thing happened to it. Now I will not shoot a slot bear ontologically, but unfortunately for the poor beast, one of my companions did not feel that way about it and promptly shot the bear on the spot. Now, the narrator did not mean to shoot the bear without any reason. He says, without any reason, why should I shoot at a bear? But one of his companion thought in a opposite way. What he did? He immediately shot the bear. As we watched the fallen animal, we were surprised to see that the black fur on its back moved and left the prostrate body. So, when they were watching looking at the bear, which was already dead, okay, another example of inhuman activity, okay, inhumanity towards the animals. So, they found that on the back portion of the bear, means the dead bear, something was moving, and then that something left the body, the dead body, and got separated from it. Then we saw it was a baby bear that had been riding on its mother's back when the sudden shot had killed her. The little creature ran around its prostrate parent, making a pitiful noise. So, what they found that it was a baby bear. The baby bear was running round and round the dead mother. Okay, now see, without knowing, without looking, without understanding, the person shot at the bear. How will it be when you think of losing your mother? Do you think of losing your mother? You fight with your mother, of course, right? On a regular. Second bench, do you? No, of course, yes. Don't say that. Okay. We fight with our mothers more than our fathers, isn't it? Fathers get a bit angry quickly. So better to fight with mother. But though you fight with your mother, when your mother is in pain, or suppose when she is suffering, when she is having fever or something else, do you feel good? Now, think when your mother dies, what will happen to you? Just you cannot imagine of that situation, isn't it? At the present moment, you are thinking, sir, why you are saying such thing? Such thing should not be said. Right, right. The thing, then what they were doing, without looking at the baby bear riding on the mother's back, they shot at the bear. Was it nice to do? Not at all. They should not have shot at the bear because it had a baby along with it. So it was a painful situation for the baby. Baby is always close to its mother. So what it was making a pitiful noise. Looking at the noise that listening at the noise that the baby bear was making, you could understand that it was not feeling good. Okay, it was a pitiful noise. The noise will make you feel bad. I ran up to it to attempt a capture. It scooted into the sugarcane field. So the narrator immediately ran towards the baby bear to catch it. But then the baby bear ran into the sugarcane field. Following it with my companions, I was at last able to grab it by the scarf of its neck, while it snapped and tried to scratch me with its long hooked claws. So somehow, ultimately, he was able to catch hold of the baby bear by holding the scruff of its neck, the back. There, they had somehow hold it. And then, what the baby bear was trying to do, it was trying to scratch with its claws. Okay, we put it in one of the gunny bags we had brought, and when I got back to Bangalore, I duly presented it to my wife. So they took the bear and they put it inside a gunny bag. What is a gunny bag? What is a gunny bag? What material it is made of? Jute. Bag made of jute. I hope you have seen it. Normally, you will see wheat and rice and tractors they are being carried. Okay. So inside that gunny bag, they had put the sloth bear, and then when they came back to Bangalore, so the narrator is from Bangalore. The narrator presented it as a gift to his wife. What a gift, isn't it? She was delighted. She at once put a colored ribbon round its neck, and after discovering the cub was a boy, she christened it Bruno. So the narrator's wife was very happy, and then when she found that it was a male bear, So she named it Bruno. Bruno soon took to drinking milk from a bottle. It was but a step further, and within a very few days, he started eating and drinking everything else. So, very soon, he started drinking from the bottle, just like babies drink. Similarly, the baby bear, Bruno, also used to drink milk. And very soon, he started eating and drinking everything. Everything means, what is everything? Let's see. And everything is the right word, for he ate porridge made from any ingredients: vegetables, fruit, nuts, meat, especially pork, curry, and rice, regardless of condiments and chilies, bread, egg, chocolate, sweets, pudding, ice cream, etc., etc., etc. What happened? So, what he was means, if you are asked what was he eating or what he used to eat, what will you say? No exception in the world, isn't it? Whatever he gets, he eats. Everything. Pudding, ice cream, sweets, chocolates, egg, bread, porridge, nothing he is leaving. Everything he is eating. Okay. As for drink, milk, tea, coffee, lime juice, aerated water, buttermilk, beer, alcoholic liquor, in fact, any liquid, anything liquid. It has to be liquid. Whether it is edible or non-edible doesn't matter. He used to savor everything. Okay. In fact, anything liquid, it all went down with relish. That means he used to be very satisfied after drinking. Ah, so nice. Okay. So that sense of satisfaction used to come up. The bear became very attached to our two Alsatian dogs and to all the children of the tenants living in our bungalow. So there were two other Alsatian dogs, a breed of dogs. Okay, some of you might have known how the Alsatian dog looks like. Okay, so the dog and the bear, they became very attached to each other, and also the children who lived in their bungalow as tenants. Tenants means on rent. Okay, they used to live on rent. He was left quite free in his younger days and spent his time in playing, running into the kitchen, and going to sleep in our beds. So, when he was young, that means in his smaller days, when he was small, he was left open. He was not tied. And he spent his time playing, running into the kitchen, sleeping in the bed where they used to sleep. One day, an accident befell him. So one day, one accident befell him. That means one accident happened with him. What was that? I put down poison, that is barium carbonate, to kill the rats and mice that had got into my library. Okay? Bruno entered the library as he often did, and he ate some of the poison. So Bruno entered the library. He used to go everywhere, so he entered the library also. And then what he did, as that liquid was being kept for the mice and rats, that liquid he severed. Okay. Paralysis set in to the extent that he could not stand on his feet. Immediately after drinking it, he got paralyzed and he was not able to stand on its own feet. But he dragged himself on his stumps to my wife, who called me. But somehow he dragged himself out of the library, dragging, not by walking, but by dragging his body. Okay. And then it reached the narrator's wife, who called the narrator. I guess what had happened. Immediately, the narrator understood what has happened. Off I rushed in the car to the vet's residence. A case of poisoning, tame bear, barium carbonate. So he immediately took the bear to the veterinary doctor. And there he said very quickly, a case of poisoning, tame bear. That means it's my tame bear. In short, he's saying tame bear, barium carbonate. That means he has taken barium carbonate. What to do? Out came his medical books, and a feverish reference to index began. Now, the doctor immediately took out his medical book. From there, now he is trying to get the reference. What poison did you say, sir? Barium carbonate. Oh, yes, B, barium salts. Barium. That means, like in dictionary, how you find out? Like that, with B at first, from B, then Ba, then barium. When barium came, then carbonate also came. Okay, like this. And then symptoms, paralysis, treatment, injections of dot dot dot. So what is that? That is not said. Just a minute, sir. I will bring my syringe and the medicine. So he said, okay, don't worry. I'm bringing the syringe and the medicine. A dash back to the car, Bruno still floundering about on his tongues, but clearly weakening rapidly. Some vomiting, heavy breathing with heaving flanks and gaping mouth. So he immediately went back to the car, and what he found that Bruno was still, his condition was not good. He was still not able to stand up. He was trying on his fallen on his stumps. That means on his back, and clearly it was noticeable that his body is getting weaker and weaker as a result of vomiting and heavy breathing. And he was keeping his mouth gaping, that means mouth open. Why? He was not able to breathe properly. That's why he was keeping his mouth open. Hold him, everybody. In goes hypodermic. Bruno squeals. So the vet says everyone hold the to hold the bear, and then the in goes the hypodermic. Hypodermic is the long injection syringe. I hope you have seen it, but you have never got it. Have you? No. Okay. Long syringes. Okay. So that one. And immediately Bruno squeals. That means Bruno is shouting immediately. What happens to you? In school, when you got the injection, what was your reaction? How many of you shouted? You had got the injection, remember? Rubella. Yes, and then what happened? All kinds of squeals were coming out from there, isn't it? Okay. So, Bruno squeals 10 cc of the antidote enters his system without a drop being wasted. 10 cc, that is that much, and was given. 10 minutes later, condition unchanged, no change in the condition. Another 10 cc injection, again injection. So total how much given? 20 cc. 10 minutes later, breathing less stertorous. That means now he is breathing easily. Now he is not having that much problem in breathing. Bruno can move his arms and legs a little, although he cannot stand yet. 30 minutes later, Bruno gets up and has a great fit. So after 30 minutes, he stands and then he eats. He looks at us disdainfully, as much as to say, what's barium carbonate to a big black bear like me? Bruno is still eating. Now, after 30 minutes, when he has taken his, when he has been feeded, he gives such a look that, what happened? What happened to me? Nothing. Barium carbonate, what will happen with barium carbonate to me? Nothing. Okay. Like that, he has means attitude, nonchalant attitude. Nothing will happen to me. And he is still eating. This was one incident. Now let's talk about another incident. Another time, he found nearly 1 gallon of old engine oil which I had drained from the sumps of the stud baker and was keeping as a weapon against the inroads of termites. Another time, he had nearly eaten 1 gallon, he has drunk 1 gallon of old engine oil. Engine oil, have you seen engine oil? That engine oil he has taken up. Okay, old engine oil that was kept. Why? In order to control the termites. Okay, and what is stud baker? That is a kind of car, a type of car. So he promptly drank the lot, but it had no ill effects whatever. He has drunk it, nothing happened. Okay. The months rolled in, and Bruno had grown many times the size he was when he came. So, like this, many months passed, and gradually